Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and I prepared this video course especially for you. So you see it's called 805 English sentences to speak English fluently and correctly. So really this video course is extremely helpful, especially for your speaking skills. Okay, so you can listen and repeat. It will be in the same place. What will happen? It will be necessary to translate it into English. I'll try not to say it. It will be easy. We could do it. Why will you learn English here? The children will go to another place. I learn English step by step. I'll manage to do it better. I'll speak English without any mistakes at all. I'll do it to have more free time. He'll owe me this money. Will his girlfriend miss him? You'll get tired soon. I'll do it to earn more money. Why will you fly to another place? How will the student be able to improve the result? Will you go to this restaurant? Why will your colleagues be interested in it? What will they be able to do? I'll refuse to do it. It doesn't necessarily mean that he'll learn English in a year. When will you be free? Where will they produce it? I won't go there anymore. I think we don't need, we need to correct it here. So I think we don't need to reinvent the wheel. These measures will stimulate our sales. She won't deny this fact. We won't complain about it. We won't stop. We'll continue this playlist. Will it depend on you? I won't take part in this tournament. My boss won't be surprised. I'll manage to find a better job. It won't be the only right answer, or it won't be the only correct answer. I know he'll have a low salary. I'll try not to forget to tell him this thing. Will they be busy next week? The employees won't support this initiative. It'll happen on a regular basis. I'll finish preparing for this exam soon. I'll try not to mention it. Who will solve this conflict? They won't agree with you, or they'll disagree with you. He'll have free time. When will you look up this word in a dictionary? Will this money be enough? I'll say it again. You'll see it in the end. Will I know English like an educated native speaker? Other people won't help you now. Okay. I'm sure it'll be the best choice. How much money will your husband owe them? It'll depend not only on us. How will you be able to solve this problem? She'll try to do it. What will you manage to do? He'll get this job. I'll speak English fast and correctly. How will they behave? Will you be available tomorrow morning? They'll have a choice. Where will the conference take place? I'll be busy tomorrow morning. Will you celebrate your birthday? It doesn't necessarily mean that he'll become a professional sportsman. Will they be able to resolve this conflict? We'll need some radical measures. Who will leave home soon? Will it last for about 2 hours? It will be our main project. My pronunciation will become much better. He'll explain it to me. How will they get to this place? It won't change his point of view, I'm sure. I'll be able to solve this problem. The students won't laugh at it. My parents won't insist on it. Everyone knows it. He's away. He is in another city. I'll try not to forget to send him this email. It won't be legal. Will you be free tomorrow? What's the reason for such a strange answer? What time will you see him? You'll see it at the beginning of the meeting. He'll like these lessons. I'll start learning English very intensively. What time will this thing happen? Will it change their attitude to this problem? I'll continue working here. They'll be able to resolve this conflict. You'll hear it at the beginning of the movie. You'll see this advertisement there. I won't reinvent the wheel. I'll join you with great pleasure. My level won't be elementary. Students often confuse these words, but of course, or certainly, they have a different meaning. When will your father leave home? I'll finish writing this email soon. It will frighten them. They'll change their point of view. I won't change my attitude to her. We won't take part in this competition, or we won't participate in this competition. Everyone has this kind of problems. Will it last for more than 2 hours? Everyone will express their point of view. They'll be able to find it everywhere. We'll always support you. This news will impress him. How much money will you earn? Will it be a potential threat? I'll be grateful to you for it. Will I improve my English? How much money will you spend on it? Will you have a high salary? She won't translate all the text without a dictionary. Will we speak English correctly and automatically? We'll try to double our sales. How often will you be in that place? This worker will get tired soon. I'll be proud of your results. How will you manage to find a solution to such a difficult problem? We'll support this initiative. Will the student look it up in a dictionary? I'll look up this phrase in a dictionary. Will it be such an important event? She'll follow your advice. It'll be a standard procedure. Will it be necessary to sign this report? It won't be the only right answer, or it won't be the only correct answer. He'll miss her. My elder brother and I will be there. Will it last for 2 hours? I think this musician won't become popular. I'll manage to double our sales despite the crisis, or in spite of the crisis. I'll speak English on a regular basis. Will you be interested in it? I'll be able to improve my English greatly, significantly, considerably. I'll look for a new job. This approach won't be professional enough. I'll spend so much money on it. Everyone will laugh at it. The authorities will control it. I think I'll find the keys there. How will you celebrate a birthday? Will you be busy tomorrow morning? Will this knowledge be enough? I'll try to find more time for English. The guests won't notice our absence. Everyone will look happy. She'll keep the secret. They won't find a solution to this problem. This channel will help you learn English for free. I'll try not to spend so much money. I won't change my attitude to this thing. I won't take part in this championship. I'll be out. The authorities will need to do something. I think I'll miss the bus. My friend and I will devote more free time to sport. It'll depend on some other factors. My friend and I will devote more free time to English. You know, it isn't in the last place. They'll notice your absence. How often will the students do this kind of exercises? You'll be satisfied with your result. She'll like this lesson. Will the boy pass this exam at last? She'll manipulate it. His brother will apologize for his behavior. How many places will your family visit? I'll continue watching this playlist with great pleasure. Or I'll go on watching this playlist with great pleasure. She'll find a better place. I won't forget to say it. I'll be able to learn English. I'll go to the restaurant. It won't interest them at all. I'll try to finish it as soon as possible. It will be necessary to do these exercises. I'll earn $500. It will be necessary to minimize the costs. What fruit and vegetables will they eat there? I think he'll be fond of music. Where will this event take place? They won't repair it easily. Will she keep this secret? It won't be the only right solution to this problem. I'm sure this result will be a tremendous success. Or I'm sure this result will be a huge success. Will they have a commercial success? The boys won't remember everything so quickly. My boss won't insist on it. It won't be the best result. He'll owe me $500. How will he manage to buy it? The students will apologize for it. I'll be free tomorrow evening. It won't help you at all. You'll waste time and money. It'll be a real sensation. I'll try not to discuss it. Who will be interested? It'll be your last chance. I won't deny it. I'll be proud of your success. I could do it. I'll try not to spend all the money. They'll get married soon. It'll happen sooner or later. I'll be there soon. I won't do it anymore. When will she join them? Who will pay for you? Whose offer will you take? My colleagues won't support this initiative. He won't guarantee it. I'll ask him 2 questions. This information will always be free. Will the students guess the correct answer? Will the teacher explain everything very clearly? I'll ask him some questions. Everyone likes it. You'll be disappointed. I'll do it to get more money. How will he influence this thing? Will I have this level? Will he be satisfied with this result? It won't bring you more money. When will everyone understand it? She won't keep this secret. They won't get married this month. The lessons won't be free there. I can do it. Will you express your opinion? When will they come back, or when will they return? You'll improve your English considerably, or you'll improve your English significantly. Or will this worker get tired soon? She'll explain it to them. You learn English in a year. I'll be able to do it much better. That course will be a waste of time. These measures won't be radical enough. I think they'll get married soon. They won't be together any longer. It will be obvious for him. My friend and I will devote more free time to our education. I'll prepare all the documents. How will you find a solution to this problem? His grandfather won't know it. You'll need to look it up in a dictionary. When will you express your point of view? His business partner will regret it. I'll express my point of view. Will you have other alternatives? It'll happen in autumn. How will you influence this situation? What will you order there? When will you read this article? I'm sure the boys will behave better. My friend and I will hurry up. I'll try not to tell him this thing. He won't smoke anymore. I'll devote more free time to such an important project. I think you'll be good at foreign languages. I'll finish working soon. We'll win despite our bad chances. or in spite of our bad chances? When will I have such a high level? What will you do to show better results? I hope everyone will be grateful to you for your hard work. You'll hear it in the beginning. I'll start improving my grammar. I'm sure you'll be happy. She'll be available. I'll start working on this problem. I learn English here to know it really well. I'll look at this advertisement. Who will be surprised? Will the police catch them? I hope you won't confuse these words anymore, or I hope you won't mix up these words anymore. Health will always be in the first place for him. It won't be the only right method. Will my boss be surprised? We'll follow your advice. You'll see the simplicity of these videos. It will be too cold. What's the reason for this answer? I'll try not to talk about it. Who will watch it? They'll have another alternative. Why will your brother be able to pass this exam without any preparation at all? We won't show you this report. They won't find a solution to such an important problem soon. Will it last for more than 2 years? What will be necessary to do? I won't go to the nearest restaurant. I hope our teacher will continue recording your lessons. I'll be able to do it despite this problem. I'll manage to do it in spite of all these difficulties. What will you be able to do? Will it be easy? We'll go on holiday soon. It'll surprise you greatly. Why will your business be successful? It won't be enough. This time will be inconvenient for us. I'll miss you. We'll live in the same place. Will they have financial problems? It won't be a standard procedure. I'll go to live in another place despite our financial problems. When will you start translating it into English? I'll continue admiring him. Everyone will be interested in it. I'll manage to do it. Will my pronunciation be much better? I'll help you learn English. How will you be able to solve such a difficult problem? I'll continue learning English here with great pleasure. I think he'll be good at English. These lessons will always be free. I live in the same place. How will your friend manage to solve this problem? Will the director say it soon? Everyone agrees with you. I'll finish writing this letter soon. Will it be the only right answer? We'll go to the cinema. This profession won't be popular any longer. This kind of approach won't be professional enough. What strategy will you choose? This company will belong to them. It will change your point of view. It will be necessary to check it again. We'll need to think it over. My wife and I will do the shopping. The girl won't learn everything so quickly. She won't be able to pay for it. I won't interrupt him. You'll see it at the end of the meeting. How effective will it be? Who will it shock? I'll be able to pass this exam. It'll happen sooner or later. You'll owe me the sum of money. Whose achievement will it be? Will all the employees be satisfied with this decision? I perfectly realize we won't be able to double our sales right now. I'll be able to pass this test. Will it last for about a week? Everyone will adapt to these conditions sooner or later. He'll manage to buy it very cheaply. This level will be enough to speak English fluently and correctly. Will it change their attitude to these things? I won't do it anymore. I'll try not to fail this exam. I'll try not to spend such a big sum of money. It'll shock you. It'll be a brilliant result. When will your brother start preparing for his exams? He won't change his point of view. Will these conditions suit us? Life will punish him. They'll maximize the profit. What will they eat there? What will we need to do? He'll create something new. What will change? You'll know so many useful words, phrases, and expressions. Will you explain it to them? I'll try not to forget to check it. How will you translate this expression? You'll have a big choice. This kind of result won't be good enough. How long will your parents be away? It won't be the only right decision. The workers won't support this initiative. They'll eat fresh fruit and vegetables there. You'll hear it at the end of the video. It'll help you learn English. Those lessons won't be effective. I'll continue learning English so intensively. She won't manage to find enough money for it. We'll be happy. I'll be away. I'll try not to make mistakes. It'll be sooner or later. Will it get dark soon? Who will be interested in it? I won't take part in this contest. I won't go there anymore, or I won't go there any longer. They won't be able to do it. Will we live in the same house? He won't record short and uninformative videos. My pronunciation will be better. When will you be away? Or when will you be absent? It will be such an attractive offer. We won't compete with this company. Will you miss the bus? How much time will you spend on it? The day won't be sunny. We'll try to be optimistic. I'm sure I'll manage to do it. I'll look it up in a dictionary. Why will it be so? Will the girl fail this exam? You won't owe me this money any longer, or you won't owe me this money anymore. What will be a potential threat? I'll try not to use this money. Your hard work will lead to success. He'll finish doing it tomorrow. How will she react to it? Which recommendation will you follow? His friend will borrow this money. I'm sure my pronunciation will be better and better. He won't invest all his money. My wife and I won't order it anymore. You like the lessons. I'll go there with my younger brother. I'll be able to do it. I think the day won't be sunny. We'll save some money. I'll do it despite his words. He'll send him such an important letter. Our sales manager will calculate it. How many dollars will you earn? Will you follow this recommendation? They won't reinvent the wheel. This profit will be enough. Who is absent today? It'll last for more than 2 years. My younger brother and I will be there. It will be necessary to learn more English words. Why will your partner start doing it later? I'll try to create a very positive atmosphere. It will be such an innovative approach. When will you start adapting to these conditions? That channel won't be popular any longer. When will the teacher continue doing it? We'll finish doing it soon. I'll send him a letter next week. He'll show his dissatisfaction. I'll be free tomorrow evening. Will it be a huge success or will it be a tremendous success? We'll stay at home. This offer won't be attractive enough. You'll regret it sooner or later. I'll do it with great pleasure. These lessons will help you speak English more correctly. Everyone knows it. I'll send this message to him. We'll eat fresh fruit and vegetables there. I'm sure it'll impress him. He'll get married soon. We'll need it soon. Will we know English like native speakers? The day won't be windy. It seems to me the day won't be rainy. We'll be able to do it. What's your attitude to this problem? Will these lessons always be free? I think I'll need more time. These conditions will suit us. Where will they be able to find it? I learn English here to speak English correctly. I'll finish working on this project soon. These kind of videos will seem uninformative. They'll behave more carefully. She'll miss him. The teacher will forgive him. We'll go to Italy in spite of our financial problems. This approach will be so innovative. All my colleagues will support it. You'll see it at the end of the presentation. Will you explain it to her? Who will laugh at you? Will be full of optimism. I like this new approach. My husband and I won't order it. Why will this woman refuse to pay? Why will you spend so much money on it? It won't be the best choice. This worker will get tired soon. Do you understand it? I hope you won't confuse these phrases any longer. Will it be really possible? Will be possible at the beginning of this year. He'll try not to forget it. I'll help you correct your mistakes. How long will it be? They'll explain it to us. What salary will you have? It doesn't necessarily mean that he'll buy it so cheaply. He won't communicate with him anymore. Will this knowledge be enough? The authorities will regulate it somehow. It'll be everywhere. We'll minimize the costs. I'll be able to understand native speakers. I'll start living there to save money. It seems to me it'll be the only right decision. I think he won't like this idea at all. Why will he be disappointed? It will be necessary to check it more thoroughly. We'll save money. How much will it be? He won't pass this test. We'll send him a message. My friend and I will devote more free time to our health. When will you leave home? He's present. It won't be a waste of time. What will belong to him? This time won't be convenient for me. He'll think it over. I'll try not to spend so much money. When will he be absent? Where will this tournament take place? Will your son train more intensively? It'll happen soon. I'll show it to you. You won't learn English in a year. It'll be such an important event. Will you miss her? You'll hear it in the end. I won't recommend this book. What will be a waste of time? Will they publish this book? We'll be grateful to you for it. Will be possible in the beginning. Whose bike will you take? Why will your boyfriend regret it? Why will she be disappointed? Right, why will she be disappointed? Will my level be advanced? Will you be free tomorrow morning? Where will this tournament be? Will he win? Not necessarily. People will know all the truth sooner or later. I think the workers won't be satisfied with this decision. She'll follow your recommendation. Will you have another alternative? He'll send him such an important letter. It'll happen in winter. I think he'll be good at sport. Will your mother go on holiday next week? I hope we'll be lucky. What will be necessary to check more thoroughly? I'll spend so much money on it. Everyone will refuse to do it. Your boyfriend will regret it. She'll marry him. It will be necessary to translate this sentence. I'll be more careful. It will be necessary to check it one more time. We'll go to the nearest supermarket. What channels will your friends watch on a regular basis? I'll achieve this aim. How many English words will I need to know to pass this exam? Will it be a standard procedure? You'll see it at the beginning of the video. Will this result impress them? He'll be valuable. Will you see him the day after tomorrow? It'll be a very important event. This offer won't be so attractive soon. Will your parents be in the city tomorrow? I'll manage to get this thing. I'll do it despite these things. This approach won't be innovative enough. You won't pass this exam without preparation. He's out. I think everyone will be afraid of it. We'll create a very positive atmosphere. How regularly will the employees make this kind of reports? I'll go on a business trip next week. He'll buy the same computer. I'll try to make a good presentation. I think he'll be fond of it. Who will it surprise? You'll see the dissatisfaction of the current situation. The authorities will control the situation. We'll go to the zoo. My business partner will lend him this sum of money. We'll do it despite these problems. I'll tell him about this problem. I'll be proud of your achievements. Life will teach him a lesson. Will my English be without mistakes? I'll become a specialist in this area. It won't last for more than 2 years. My father will leave home soon. We're sure this knowledge will be more than enough. It'll be our achievement. We'll think it over. Will it be an easy test? Where will we find fresh fruit and vegetables? I'll try not to forget everything. How will you solve your financial problems? How often will it be? Your parents will be very surprised. It'll happen in spring. I'll write this report. I hope you won't confuse these expressions anymore. It'll be the only right choice. Who will be against it? I think they'll get married soon. I don't think they'll get divorced. I won't forget about this payment. You'll see it in the beginning. They'll get divorced soon. Will the police catch this criminal? What will you do in this situation? You won't influence him. You'll hear it at the end of the conference. I'll study very hard to pass this exam. Everyone will be disappointed. I'll devote more free time to this project. I'll try not to do it. Will you be busy tomorrow evening? How much money will your friend owe you? Will you be satisfied with this answer? When will you achieve your aim? It'll shock everyone. Will you manage to get a job? You like this idea. It won't be the only right choice. How much will it cost? Okay. It'll often happen. He'll get tired soon. I'll do it. What will be the main problem? I won't see him anymore. I'll go to the nearest supermarket. Will it be possible in the end? I think he'll be keen on music. You'll improve your grammar considerably or significantly. I believe I'll learn English. She'll try not to do it. How will you influence him? Will you inform your assistant? It doesn't necessarily mean that they'll manage to do it. Why will you fly there? This news will shock him. It'll be illegal. My boss will be surprised. What kind of materials will you need? It doesn't necessarily mean that they'll win. Will your brother marry her? This knowledge will be enough to pass this exam. My friend won't refuse to help you. The test won't be so easy for us. These lessons will be more than enough. I'll look up this word in a dictionary. Why will your boss refuse to do it? It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be able to do it. Will I have an advanced level in English? I'll compare our results. It'll get dark soon. Will it be the only right decision? She won't change her opinion. Will the director mention it later? When will it get dark? The offer won't be attractive enough for us. I perfectly realize we'll need to take these measures. Will it change their attitude to health? How regularly will we train there? It'll help you. I won't interrupt him. My pronunciation will become better. Who will watch all these videos? Whose offer will your friend take? Will we take the first place? My friend and I will join them. This money won't be enough. We'll try to create a very positive atmosphere. Will she close her eyes on it? Will you ask him your questions? Will it be the only right solution to this problem? I'll try not to be lazy. You won't notice this advertisement. I'll be grateful to you for your help. What's your attitude to sport? This step won't be radical enough. Who will be shocked? I hope you won't confuse these expressions any longer. I'll go there with my elder sister. It'll be obvious for everyone. Will you do it later? Everyone has problems. Will she start thinking about it? She'll point at your mistakes. How many questions will you ask? I'll take this offer with great pleasure. It'll be in the first place. I'm sure I'll be lucky. He won't interrupt her. This thing won't be in the last place for us. I'll continue watching such an informative playlist. Or I'll go on watching such an informative playlist. Will you be available tomorrow? Will my English level be much higher? He'll repair it. It won't be easy. Will your sister marry him? They like the course. Will it cost more money? I'll explain it to my colleagues. I won't change my attitude to these things. We can do it. She won't react to it. Who will guarantee it? What will you do to achieve your aim? When will we know the meaning of this phrase? I think I'll be able to learn English in a year. This sum of money won't be enough. Will he express the dissatisfaction of the current situation? I'll think it over. It'll happen in summer. Will your daughter marry him? I hope they won't confuse these phrases anymore. I'm sure this achievement will impress him. He'll marry her. Will your friends watch this channel too? Will this news shock everyone? You'll spend less money. The day won't be rainy. The conference won't be boring at all. I'll manage to solve this problem. It will be necessary to maximize our profit. How long will you be away? I'll be busy tomorrow morning. You'll hear it at the beginning of the presentation. I won't do it any longer. Would be the only right choice. I'll speak English more regularly. Those students won't have enough practice. My boss will forget it soon. Will it be our main project? They won't get divorced this year. It won't lead to success. Will I be able to solve this problem? Who will write this report? Will it be possible at the beginning of this year? Will the people show the dissatisfaction of the current situation? When will you go on a business trip? I'll try not to forget to call him. When will she join us? Will they repair it easily? Will this information be useful for him? It won't be my best result. It won't be the best result. What's the reason for it? Will he be in the same place? Will your friends also watch these videos? Everyone will be shocked. How long will you be here? Will he get married soon? I won't change my attitude to her. I'll be interested in it. She'll notice our absence. These conditions won't suit us. Will you be free tomorrow evening? He is absent. More people will watch this channel because it really helps. Will you go to the zoo with us? They'll repair it easily. It doesn't necessarily mean that he'll solve such a difficult problem. I think he'll smile at her. I hope I won't confuse these words anymore. Will you cook in the evening? Everyone has this kind of problems. You won't influence it. You won't see it now. It will be an excellent result. We won't swim there. Will everyone express their point of view? How regularly will the workers make this kind of reports? What will you send him? We'll get tired of it soon. Will he continue working in that place? What will be necessary to do? Will the students look up this phrase in a dictionary? I'll send him a letter. We'll devote more free time to English. What kind of literature will we need? I'll share your point of view. I'll share this information with you. When will everyone show their dissatisfaction? I won't be against it. What time will you leave home? I'll continue improving my grammar. You won't influence this decision. It'll be the only right solution to that problem. I'll go shopping tomorrow. When will you go on holiday? It'll be the most important problem. It'll be the main problem. Will they invest this money? This result will be a big success. I'll have another alternative. I'll have other alternatives. We won't be able to forget it. Will you go to the cinema with us? Hey, really, my friends, I wish you a huge success, not only in English, and I really feel you deserve it. Thanks a lot, and I really hope that you like the idea of this great video. So 805 English sentences to speak English fluently and correctly. I wish you good luck. Bye bye. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this video course is 630 English sentences to speak English fluently and correctly. So you see that this course isn't only for speaking, it's also for grammar too, if you want to speak English without any mistakes at all. So yeah, for more efficiency you can listen and repeat. He watched this lesson. He invested too little money. They accused him of a very serious crime. He studied abroad. I expressed my point of view. I prepared for the exam. The house belonged to them. I reached an advanced level. He earned more than $5,000. She often watched TV. He owned this house. She really liked this place. This house belonged to her. She washed up the dishes. I closed the window. He always believed her. We faced some unexpected problems. They destroyed the village. He remembered it too late. I parked near this place. This example inspired me. I hurried up. She suggested going to the cinema. I passed such a difficult exam. I hated discussing it. It happened to my family. We communicated with each other from time to time. He insisted on doing it. She danced professionally. He reacted to it very strangely. She often visited her grandmother. I signed those 2 contracts. I opened the door. I prepared for these exams. We walked to the park, or we went to the park on foot. He trusted his business partner. The lesson lasted for about an hour. She needed to get in touch with us. They asked us a couple of questions. I revised this lesson one more time. I revised all the lessons in this playlist. He deserved respect. She partly agreed with me. I disagreed with them for no reason. Or I didn't agree with them for no reason. I expressed my ideas. I managed to improve my grammar. I promised to do it. They disappeared suddenly. He prayed to saints. He closed the door. They produced wine. I answered all her questions. They hurried up. I continued learning English here. This house belonged to him. He wished me good luck. I parked not far from here. They competed with this company. His offer sounded very interesting. We analyzed everything very thoroughly. He married her. I perfectly realized it. She apologized for everything. He invested all his money. We solved all these problems. He remained my friend. I passed the exam. It depended on us. We hated doing it. He added 2 very important things. He repeated the sentence. We concentrated on these problems. He confirmed the time of our meeting. He repaired this chair. She divided our group into 3 parts. He appeared suddenly. I deleted this comment by mistake. I studied abroad. He interrupted me. I disagreed with him, or I didn't agree with him. It attracted our attention immediately, or it attracted our attention at once. He often prayed in the morning and in the evening. Our teacher influenced me greatly. I remembered one very important thing. We analyzed everything very thoroughly. I decided to continue watching this playlist. We used his computer every day. I prepared for the test. She described the situation. They informed us of this problem. They danced together. He entered the building. They controlled him. He turned and smiled at her. They killed innocent people. The police arrested them. They punished the criminals. They destroyed the building. He called her again. It surprised us greatly. She often called me to discuss different things. I translated it from Russian into English. So, for example, you can say I translated it from Spanish into English. So it could be any language. So I revised this lesson. We remained friends. He always supported us. I included these examples. He prayed to God. I walked to work, or I went to work on foot. You explain it very clearly. They shared this information with us. We thanked him for everything. It changed my opinion. He created a new theory. They provided excellent conditions. He jumped very high. He experienced so many difficulties. You calculated it incorrectly. I shared my knowledge with you. He asked me a couple of questions. He smoked quite rarely, or he smoked quite seldom. The police arrested this thief. We recorded his speech. He published several books. He ignored their questions. I finished watching this video. He earned this money. She washed her face. He recorded so many lessons. The police arrested this criminal. They accused him of this crime. They sometimes danced together. He translated this document from English into Russian. I added a very important thing. They suggested going to the cinema. He married her last year. This problem really worried me. We trained very intensively. She entered this university. I described this problem. He tried to help her, but without success. Her boss often criticized her. We participated in the championship, or we took part in the championship. We signed a very important contract. They arrested those criminals. He borrowed more money. I achieved this aim at last. I parked there. She cried suddenly. I really hated doing it. I closed the door. He promised to keep his word. He published his book. I decided not to waste money. He described her appearance. They deleted this comment. He regretted it later. I saved this document. I concentrated on this issue. He failed his last exam. He smoked very rarely. He smoked very seldom. We adapted to these conditions. The teacher explained it to us. I compared these two methods. I decided not to go there. I insisted on it. We considered it very important. The lesson lasted for 2 hours. He washed his hands. I managed to improve my pronunciation significantly, or I managed to improve my pronunciation greatly, or considerably. We concentrated on this subject. I preferred to stay at home. She reached this level soon. The lesson lasted for an hour. He divided us into 2 groups. I decided to do it later. I waited for him for 2 hours, or you can say for half an hour, for about 20 minutes. I enjoyed doing it. I practiced English there. I remembered what to say. The teacher pointed at our mistakes. He knocked at the door, or you can also say he knocked on the door. The boy interrupted her. I needed to know it. He asked me a very interesting question. We faced a very big problem. She guessed the correct answer, or she guessed the right answer. He owned this flat. I remembered it at last. I followed your advice. They provided these conditions. I divided it into 3 parts. I started learning English 2 years ago. He prayed to God. I audited online from time to time. He ordered him to defend them. I participated in this competition, or you can say I take part in this competition. We translated it into English. I managed to improve my speaking. I missed the bus. We lived very far from that place. She tested their knowledge. It destroyed our plans. The boys laughed at her. We competed with a very famous company or with a very well-known company. I reached a strong advanced level. I communicated with different people from other countries or cities. We hurried up not to miss the bus. He smiled at her. It often rained there. He wasted time. I washed my face, then I called her. Or you can say I washed my face, after that I called her. I created this channel 2 years ago. I celebrated my birthday. We noticed it unexpectedly, or we noticed it at last. They compared their results. His wife met him. They appeared unexpectedly. It changed my attitude to them, or you can say it changed my attitude towards them. He complained about that situation. He repeated his words. He washed himself. The lesson lasted for more than 20 minutes. Okay. I looked at them. I practiced English daily. They informed us of this accident. I liked all these examples. I concentrated on this topic. We played football together. He wasted time. It happened to me. They offered us something special. I opened the window. Everything depended on him. She married him. He decided not to do it. The police arrested him. He invited us to his birthday. She missed that chance. They introduced me to them. I improved my English considerably or significantly thanks to this channel. I packed this parcel. She cooked breakfast, lunch, dinner. He recommended this website to us. He reacted to it very strangely. I turned on the computer, or you can say I switched on the computer. He deserved it. We analyzed this report. I realized it only later. We revised these rules. This firm belonged to him. I managed to improve my reading. She wasted money. He imagined different things. He advised him to do it. We expected the same. The police arrested this criminal yesterday. We refused to take their offer. We considered it very important. Okay? I concentrated on this problem. She experienced a very strange feeling. She sometimes cried. His speech inspired us. She admired this singer. I enjoyed spending time there. I discussed this problem with them. She invited us to that party. She practiced English yesterday. I often confused these words, or I often mixed up these words. He introduced me to his wife. He often confused these expressions, or he often mixed up these expressions. They lived happily. He returned home too late, or he returned home after midnight, or you can say he came back home too late or after midnight. I remembered how to do it. He packed his clothes. We practiced English, We practiced speaking English. It surprised us a lot. She really loved him. They loved each other. I wished him all the best. He missed such a unique opportunity. They required more experience. I answered these questions. It happened to us. She preferred not to mention it. This news surprised us. She pointed at my mistakes. I revised your lessons one more time. We expected these results. She failed the test to our surprise. We competed with several big companies. It changed my point of view. I agreed with him. She cooked a cake. It often rained in that place or area. I continued watching these lessons. They talked for hours. I decided to do it. They reacted to it very strangely. I decided not to go to that party. It developed my professional skills. They often had a rest together, or they often relaxed together. I communicated with different people. It surprised us greatly. The boys behaved well. I remained calm. They discovered this continent. I returned home, or I came back home. He died young. It often snowed in this area. He stopped smoking, or he gave up smoking. He stopped near the shop. We faced some serious problems. His offer sounded really strange. They delivered this parcel to me. It seemed so interesting. I needed to get in touch with her. His boss often criticized them. She failed this test. He ignored her words. I filled in the form. He celebrated his birthday. I promised to check everything. She often listened to classical music, or she often listened to the radio. We divided it into 5 parts. I mentioned it at the beginning of the meeting. The flat belonged to her. It attracted new clients. I studied very hard. He pointed at my mistakes. I confirmed the date of our meeting. The news shocked everyone. He ordered the soldiers to do it. I opened the box. He often confused these words and expressions. I faced very serious difficulties. He ordered them to do it. I focused on this problem. They accused him of this crime. We tended to consider it unimportant. I parked there. She deserved this result. He checked my work. We usually checked it there. She cried to our surprise. I visited her the day before yesterday. He calculated the costs. I parked very far from here. She washed up the dishes. They appeared and then they disappeared. It developed our abilities. I experienced a very unusual feeling. He reached such a high level. They remained friends. She published this article. I hated getting up so early. My friends advised me not to do it. I reached this level. He earned $2,000 monthly. He promised to finish it. She divided their group into 3 parts. I started learning English here with great pleasure. I mentioned it at the end of the meeting. I checked everything. They moved to America. He managed this business. I used the internet almost every day. He discovered this planet. I jumped high. He explained it to us. His wife insisted on it. Our boss insisted on doing it. I really liked your lessons. I expected much more. The result depended on each of us. He discovered America. He apologized for his rude behavior. He tried to get that job, but without success. I communicated with people from other countries. She smiled at us. I packed this parcel. I analyzed these figures. I hoped to win. I improved my grammar greatly. I often confused these phrases. She suggested going to the park. I tended to think so. So, it's an expression, so to be inclined to do something, and we can also say I was inclined to think so. Next, they celebrated their anniversary. He managed to earn this money. We tended to think so. I mentioned it in the beginning. It shocked each of them. That man saved her life. I managed to improve my writing. I turned off the radio, or I switched off the radio. They noticed our absence. My colleagues focused on this problem. I turned off the light, or I switched off the light. We trusted him completely. He prayed to God. They imagined different things. She really loved him. I answered this question. I parked near this place. He translated it into English. He complained about that problem. This flat belonged to him. I tried to learn English in a month, but without success. This business belonged to him. We started living there. I wished him good luck. My cousin regretted it. It developed our professional skills. They included her name. The boy behaved very strangely. My friends recommended this channel to me. They laughed at her. I wanted to correct my mistakes. I often ordered clothes online. I received this letter, or I got this letter. I wished him happiness. I finished doing it. He prayed to the saint. The lecture lasted for 2 hours. He returned, or he came back. They disappeared unexpectedly. He borrowed more than $2,000. I deleted this file by mistake. I participated in this tournament, or I took part in this tournament. I solved such a difficult task. I improved my speaking considerably, or improved my speaking significantly. She achieved her aim. He washed his hands. He washed his face. You explained everything very well. He owned this house. He refused to pay for it. He usually prayed in the morning and in the evening. My teacher advised me to do it. He crossed the street. I passed the test. We often traveled. I managed to do it. I expressed my opinion. I really liked all your lessons. I turned back. She died last year. He imagined strange things. I finished working on that project. He really had a rest in the evening, or he really relaxed in the evening. She started learning English 3 years ago. We moved to England. They tested our knowledge. They delivered the goods on time. The boy interrupted her unexpectedly. I hoped to get a job. He recorded a very interesting lesson. He divided us into 3 groups. We trained these skills. She switched on the light, or she turned on the light. The police arrested this thief. I often listened to music. We solved this problem at last. I expressed my personal point of view. I practiced English. I entered a very prestigious university. The enemy attacked them. It really worried me. His behavior seemed very suspicious. Everyone agreed with us. He suggested going there. The criminals disappeared. This house belonged to him. I entered this university. They appeared suddenly. I managed to improve my listening. They discovered this continent. I crossed the street there. He invested all his money. We often used the internet there. I improved my grammar a lot. I compared these results. He believed her. I really liked this idea. They stayed at home the day before yesterday. I filled in the documents. We concentrated on the following problems. That job required more skills. My best friend recommended this channel to me. I added one very important thing. I translated all the text. I really liked that movie. We controlled the workers. We filled in this form. He considered it unimportant. She missed that opportunity. We recorded his speech. She calculated it incorrectly. We calculated all the costs. They signed this document. His words seemed really strange. We thanked them for help. The lesson lasted for half an hour. I mentioned it during our conversation. I trained so intensively. It happened by accident, or it happened accidentally. I washed myself. We checked in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I ordered this thing online. He considered this victory very important. I mentioned it in the end. I saved this file. Everything remained the same. He recommended this book to me. I received this email, or I got this email. I enjoyed listening to it. I wanted to help you. That flat belonged to him. He parked there. He repaired the wheel. I compared these two methods. We discussed everything. He confirmed his decision. He jumped over the fence. He described her appearance. The director supported our decision. I refused to take the offer. I answered the following questions. This business belonged to him. You helped me a lot. He interrupted our conversation, or he interrupted our talk. My parents advised me not to do it. He denied his guilt. I preferred to stay at home. He apologized for his behavior. I admired this person. He invited us to that meeting. We stayed in Russia. I noticed it too late. He inspired me. I smiled at him. I joined them with great pleasure. It sounded interesting. We expected something special. She owned this business. This company delivered it yesterday. He shared this secret with us. It often rained in this area. We worked very hard to pay for it. Her boyfriend regretted it later. I recorded everything. We analyzed this report. I managed to improve my grammar greatly. She often traveled with her parents. Everything seemed very strange. He invested such a big sum of money. It attracted our attention. Two things worried me. She prepared for this test. He repeated that sentence. I revised his last videos. I checked out at 6 o'clock in the evening. You answered it correctly. It required more professionalism. He owned this business. He denied all the accusations. He realized it only later. I enjoyed learning English there. I followed your recommendation. She remained calm. We resolved this conflict. They calculated all the costs. I wished them health. One man knocked at the door. She watched herself. He informed me of these problems. It depended on me. It often snowed there. I participated in this competition, or I took part in this competition. He supported this decision. They always helped me. The boys behaved very badly. She cooked something very tasty, or she cooked something delicious. The police arrested him. He repaired his bike. Her husband regretted it. They informed us of this problem. I noticed it only yesterday. They produced very expensive goods. They looked at her. I often confused these expressions. They provided very good conditions. My brother knocked at the door. Or my brother knocked on the door, it's also possible. Okay, next. I decided not to go there. She cooked a very tasty cake, or she cooked a very tasty pie. He admired her beauty. She owned this flat. It required more efforts. I remembered what to say, or I remembered how to do it. I remembered how to say it better. They informed us of these difficulties. We often waited for them. They offered me a well-paid job. It often snowed there. He denied that fact. We worked very hard. We continued watching this playlist. He saved her life. We tried to analyze everything very thoroughly. This event influenced me. She adapted to the situation. He followed my advice. I passed a very difficult exam. It shocked everyone. They killed him. We played badminton yesterday. He owned this firm. We stopped near that supermarket. He prayed to different saints. I received this message, or I got this message. I introduced him to them. We included his name. He usually had a rest in the evening, or he usually relaxed in the evening. The authorities resolved this conflict. I managed to solve a very difficult task. I turned on the computer, or I switched on the computer. I preferred to follow his advice. I promised not to do it. They trusted each other completely. He joined them with great pleasure. He discovered America. We guessed the correct answer. He recommended it to us. She denied her guilt. It happened suddenly. It happened so unexpectedly. This channel helped me improve my English greatly. This playlist really helped me realize my mistakes, or this playlist really helped me understand my mistakes. Okay, my friends, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for your attention. So I really hope that it's a great course if you're really serious about improving your speaking and grammar as well. Thank you, my friends. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this video course is for you. So it's called 525 English sentences with 100 irregular verbs. So you see, it's a very intensive English grammar, English vocabulary, English speaking and listening practice. So you can listen and repeat, yeah, for more progress. Okay, are you ready? I hope so. It costs a little. I heard it on TV. I grew up in Brazil. She drew a very beautiful picture. She made a very big discovery. This soldier fought very courageously. I read it online. I left India. I paid for this course. The dog bit him. He wore very poor clothes. He dreamt about that career. They sent me this notification. I paid for it online. I lent him this sum of money. I knew him very well. He withdrew 20,000 euros from his account. I grew up in the capital of our country. I grew up in a small town. We won in that competition. Two apples fell down. He went to school. I could listen to these videos doing my homework. They forgave him. I dealt with different clients. He kept his word. He slept too long. He came to the meeting. I could do my homework listening to this playlist. He lay down. I swam in the river. He set up a profitable company. I fed my cat. He felt so unhappy. The price rose by 30%. I heard it for the second time. I came there on time. He cut the meat into 4 parts. They spoke Spanish. The police caught the thief. We spoke only English. It cost too much. He gave up smoking. The girl showed outstanding results. The lesson began. I lit the candle. This pair of shoes fit me. I woke up later than usual. He gave me this advice. I spent more than $700 on it. He withdrew all the money. It cost $300. I foresaw this situation. She cut the meat. She redid this exercise. He lost his keys. I sat down. He hung his coat. The lesson began 3 hours ago. This sweater fit him perfectly. We left England. I read it in that article. He hurt his leg. He hurt her feelings. I woke up very early. He got $2,000 monthly. He sometimes overpaid. They sent me a parcel. I dealt with suppliers. She drew something very special. I felt very good. I slept enough. She felt so sad. The conference began 2 hours later. The bell rang 2 minutes ago. He had a very spacious house. She sent me a letter. He set up a very profitable company. He told him everything. He said it very loudly. Those clothes fit you perfectly. I think you spent too little money. I learned these rules by heart. They fought very bravely. I bought it for $300. I heard it for the first time. They burned the building. The price rose by 15%. An angry dog bit him. They met at last. I found out that it was a serious mistake. He held her back. I rode a bike. I went cycling. He gave me this advice. He fell on the ground, or he fell down. The meeting began much later. He made such a big mistake. I sat on a chair. It cost more than she thinks. They made a very interesting discovery. I read such an interesting book. We left this city last year. They had a great time together. I read it in some articles. He drew a masterpiece. My boss did him a favor. I put it near my computer. I ran him. The boat sank. They could help you instead of him. I forgot to do it. I dreamt about different things. He hit the door. I learned it by heart. He shot the bird. He lit the light. He drank a bottle of milk. I forgot this thing completely. I found out that it was a mistake. I redid all those exercises. He set it on the table. It smelled terrible. It smelled awful. He drove to work. She lit the candle. We slept more than enough. We found out that the keys were there. I withdrew $700. I drove home. I sent her this email. She felt unhappy. I threw it away. I could learn English for hours. She was so disappointed. She went to work. You did it very well. The price rose by 25%. I thought so too. They dug a hole in the ground, or they dug a pit in the ground. I swam there last summer. I hung my coat on a hook. I sat down. She taught this subject at university. She withdrew all the money from her account. They sold their country house for $50,000. I swam in the pond. I woke up very early. I thought the same. I wrote down this word. He saw his mistakes at last. She grew fruit and vegetables in her own garden. He kept his money in a bank. She wore very stylish clothes. They had a special offer. He felt so sad. We overcame different difficulties. He kept this secret. This dress fit you perfectly. She wore very expensive clothes. She ate too little. He became a very famous actor. I flew back to Los Angeles. I grew up in America. They were bitterly disappointed. They left this country. He stole jewelry. That ship sank. I took him with me. I hung my jacket on a hook. I stood up, or I got up. So you know that these sentences have a different meaning. I swam in the lake. I forgot to tell them this thing. The soldiers burned that house. She said it very loudly. He bought a new car. He fell down and hurt his arm. They sold their house for $500,000. I found out that it was a big mistake. His parents let him do it. He could come to her quite often. He sold his business. I saw it very clearly. I thought differently, or I thought another way. It smelled good. He cut himself. I made a mistake. I spoke only English. I heard it on the radio. He set up a very successful company. I foresaw these changes. His words meant the following. I drove to the park. I read it in this article. He gave up drinking. He became famous. They burned the village. I did it on time. I found out that she was right. He often overpaid for no reason. I was bitterly disappointed. It spoiled our plans. They broke this rule, or they broke such an important rule. They understood each other. It spoiled their plans. I read such a funny story. The computer cost $800. I held it in my arms. He ran away. The boy showed an outstanding result. He drove home. The conference began an hour later. He brought us this document. I paid for the delivery. They hit the door. I redid this exercise. He gave me this recommendation. I wrote down this phrase. He meant to help us. I learned so many new words. I caught the ball. We overcame those difficulties. Okay. She ran very slowly. We had a good time together. It cost more than he thinks. It cost several $1,000s. I found this channel at last. He came back. Oh, he returned. They spoke French. I could do it for hours. She came to the party. I won at last. He threw a ball to me. I learned English. I woke up earlier than usual. He set up a very profitable business. She took our offer. I understood you immediately, or I understood you at once. She grew up in England. He lied to his boss. They hit him very badly, or they hit him very hard. He got $2,000 a month. I flew to India, so we need a capital letter here, India. He stole jewelry. She became a famous actress. I threw it away. She felt so tight. I got an email from her, or I received an email from her. She spent too much money. He lit the lamp. The lecture began 2 hours ago. He lit the cigarette. They ran away. We foresaw these difficulties. My friend did him a favor. I swam in the ocean. It cost more than you think. He sold his house. The price rose by 20%. I grew up in India. She hurt her arm. She foresaw this situation. I wrote down the following thing. She found this channel at last. She gave up smoking. He rode a horse yesterday. I met my classmate yesterday. She fought for her rights. I read it in several articles. She sold her flat. I forgave her. I put it on the desk. I perfectly understood you. So we won in that contest. He wore very stylish clothes. She bought it with a very big discount. These shoes fit me. They stole all her money. I heard it in the news. She tore the papers. He brought this thing to me. She lost her keys. I wrote down this word. They often underpaid her. I paid for the service. The conference began an hour ago. He got $400 a month. He kept his money in a safe place. I overcame all these difficulties. She tore that document. I withdrew $300 from my account. He taught English. I heard it only yesterday. We took his offer. He told me everything. He brought me this thing. She felt upset. He hit the ball. She saw her mistakes. They dug a hole or they dug a pit. He learned English. I also thought so. I went to work. I lay down. He drank a carton of milk. The price fell very sharply. He sang his favorite song. He put it near his computer. We caught fish. I swam in the lake yesterday. The bell rang. It cost $2 million. He threw a stone at her. She cut herself. He had a very interesting idea. He redid it. He sent me an email. He got enough money. I did my homework. She felt sad. I drove to work. I learned this text by heart. I could learn English really enjoying it. The police caught this criminal. He tore the book. They broke the rules. The ship sank last year. I could discuss it for hours. We knew everything. I lay in bed. I overslept yesterday. He redid his homework. We thought the same. I found my wallet. The wind blew suddenly. I dealt with different complaints. She sang very beautifully. He drowned. I rode a camel. My parents let me do it. I swam in the sea. She hid behind a tree. She said it very quietly. I'm afraid you misunderstood me. She taught this subject at school. He came to the meeting later. I laid it on the table. He kept his promise. I went cycling. I rode a horse. He became very famous. I paid for her. They burned the house. The boys hid behind a tree. He lost his wallet. He dreamt about big money. They made an interesting discovery. Her boss often underpaid the employees. It smelled bad. He hurt her feelings. She fed her baby. He dug a hole. He dug a pit. I could listen to her doing other things. They spoke German. She kept her money in this bank. We spoke English yesterday. They usually spend time together. She drowned. She forgot everything. The food smelled very bad. She told me this thing. The soldiers fought very bravely and courageously. She often overslept. My friend did him a favor. The girl showed excellent results. I paid for him. He showed brilliant results. She bought a very spacious flat. The meeting began 15 minutes later. She cut the fish into 4 pieces. She felt so unhappy. They caught this criminal. I saw tears on her eyes. We stood up. He felt very disappointed. He threw me a ball. I saw my progress. I held her back. We wore a school uniform. He tore the papers. He dreamt about money. They shot him. She drove home. Her boss often underpaid the workers. I did everything on time. They had a great time together. His boss often underpaid him. I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He hid behind that building. She hurt his feelings. He lit the lamp. She lost her bag. Sometimes he overate. I said it again. I understood your point of view. The food smelled very bad. They fought for independence. He taught me a lesson. He sang really well. She fed the children. She fed the cat. It meant the following. Our meeting began much later. He felt so upset. He could explain very difficult things using simple words. They often drew together. I sat in an armchair. The lesson began on time. He gave up drinking beer. We had a great time together. I met him yesterday. She laid it on the table. I flew to America. She dreamed about different things. He foresaw these troubles. I usually slept for about 8 hours. She forgave him. They spoiled the food. We found out all the truth. I read it in this newspaper. I found my keys. He never overate. I read it in that magazine. It cost $3 million. I saw her for the first time. We left America. She won at last. It cost more than $300. I drove to that place. We understood his point of view. He stole her bag. They broke this chair. He was bitterly disappointed. I left home. They spoke Japanese. I forgot everything. He broke this rule. The dog bit her. He tore those papers. He stole his wallet. She foresaw these problems. We left for America. I could listen to the radio doing other things. He often overate. He cut himself yesterday. I forgot to call her. The lecture began 15 minutes ago. I heard it for the 3rd time. He drank a glass of milk. I slept for 2 hours. They broke the window. I felt so happy. We won in that tournament. This son became very popular. He became a very successful businessman. I lent her $50. He set a glass of water on the table. I forgot to say it. Her parents let her go there. I could do it thinking about other things. I felt so. We knew it in the beginning. He spoiled everything. Her parents let her do it. They took him with them. A very strong wind blew. I left for Russia. The criminal stole jewelry. He lent her several $100. She sent me a message. They spoke Italian. He wrote a very long message. They lent him this sum of money. She forgave him. She forgave everything. She dreamt about a career in music. I sometimes overpaid. He made a discovery. He meant to help me. Or he intended to help me. I threw this thing away, or I threw away this thing. I stood behind him. He told her too much. He fed his dog. He gave this thing to me. I met so many new words there. The wind blew unexpectedly. I dealt with clients. We took him with us. I put it on the table. She lied to me. I redid this exercise at last. This lesson began half an hour ago. He lent her $2,000. I said it one more time. I think you misunderstood me. She ran very fast. He fought for his country. The sun rose. The sun went up. They spoke Chinese. He paid for us. I wrote down this expression. We sometimes spent time together. I overslept. He did me a favor. I flew to the United States. He wrote such an interesting book. I sat down and then I stood up. She drew a real masterpiece. She wore very poor clothes. She sang very beautifully. I found out that we had some problems. We overcame all these difficulties. He wore very stylish clothes. He flew to New York. The boys swam in the swimming pool the day before yesterday. I wore a belt. He went to another place. Okay, my friends, thank you very much. So I really hope that it was a great idea to record this kind of video. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. See you. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally, and I prepared 420 English sentences to speak English fluently and correctly. So for more progress, you can listen and repeat. Okay, are you ready? I hope so. Why was she so tight? They didn't get divorced. He didn't have such an intention. The days weren't sunny. Who was in the same situation? Were we in that place? My teachers were very professional. Did your acquaintance follow your advice? Who advised you to do it? That money was more than enough. What was so suspicious? His attempts weren't successful, or his attempts were unsuccessful. We didn't expect it. Was it her fault? They were very experienced employees. They didn't provide all the necessary conditions. She wasn't afraid of it. Did your acquaintance follow our advice? The day wasn't warm. When did it happen? Did she advise you to do it? We didn't see him yesterday. Were they behind him? Who was in the same group? I didn't want to lose time and money. Were you in trouble? He didn't reach an advanced level. I didn't want to overpay. He wasn't very generous. He wasn't afraid of new difficulties. It wasn't an exception. What did you say? How much money did you earn there? The lesson was too short. Did you call her? Did they guarantee it? Who was in the same team? Did it help you improve your writing skills? When were they there last time? His parents didn't like such a strange decision. Did he deserve it? Why was he so thoughtful? She didn't boast about her achievements. Okay, so achievement, so we see this suffix meant, like in this word, yeah, management, say manage and management, okay? So he didn't point at our mistakes. What time was it? She didn't have such a feeling. The day wasn't cold. That event wasn't so important. It wasn't so simple. Were you poor? Was she kind to you? The book wasn't very thin. Was I on the right way? Or was I on the right track? He wasn't afraid of it. I was so tired. Were we in the same place? It was a sunny day. Who did they defend? Was she absent there? What did you want to know? He didn't thank us for it. The boy wasn't abroad last month. He wasn't used to it, or he wasn't accustomed to it. Was I right? How was it? What was too expensive? What was in the box? He didn't get her message, or he didn't receive her message. She didn't listen to her. The book wasn't very thick. Was it such a big mistake? It didn't interest us at all. I didn't have any ideas. He didn't say it loudly enough. Did you get the job? Did you swim yesterday? You weren't careful enough. He didn't leave his bag. This knowledge wasn't enough. The boys weren't strong enough. I didn't devote much time to English. Who was in the last place? Which channel did you choose? How much did it cost? Or how much was it? The result was quite good. I was glad to see him. The houses were big enough. The girl was so hard-working. Was it a potential threat? Did you do it? When did you start learning English? The lesson was very useful. The lecture was too long. Those events weren't so important. They were in another place. Did I say it incorrectly? Or did I say it wrongly? Was it your dream? Who did they invite to their wedding? He didn't depend on them. They didn't get married last year. When were they at home? How regularly did you do this kind of exercises? Your mistake wasn't very serious. Did I say it correctly? Or did I say it rightly? He didn't get married last year. My friend wasn't there. He wasn't upset. You can also say he wasn't sad. He wasn't disappointed. Did you like this thing? It didn't surprise us. I didn't like it. I wasn't surprised. I didn't know how to say it correctly, or I didn't know how to say it rightly. We weren't full of confidence. Her mistake wasn't small. Why was she so thoughtful? Did he try to concentrate? It wasn't an important detail. He didn't boast about his achievements. It didn't happen yesterday. He wasn't glad to see her. How much did the thing cost? How much was the thing? The price was low. His conclusion was quite logical. His conclusion wasn't logical enough. When did you finish doing it? You weren't with them. You didn't tell me the second thing. The news was so strange. The news was so unusual. Whose initiative was it? Why did you decide to learn English here? Was she on a business trip? I wasn't sure, or I wasn't certain. How did you manage to do it? When was it? What was unpredictable? They weren't tight at all. The days weren't rainy. They didn't agree with him. The price wasn't high. Did you try not to show it? It didn't rain there yesterday. Was I on the wrong way? Or was I on the wrong track? How long was it? It didn't disturb us. The house wasn't spacious. I wasn't satisfied with my result. Did you see him yesterday? What kind of person was she? What kind of person was your grandmother, grandma, grandfather, grandpa? The results weren't satisfactory. He wasn't interested in it. Were you abroad last month? My teacher wasn't right. They weren't on the beach. She didn't leave her pencil. Why was she so careful? My friend and I weren't near that place. The man was outside the building. Did his wife recover? Did her husband recover? Did it help you improve your English? Who was right? Why were you so tight? We weren't used to it, or we weren't accustomed to it. Did your acquaintance follow her advice? Were they ahead? She wasn't disappointed at all. She was bitterly disappointed. He wasn't married. We didn't regret it. Where did you go? Whose book did you take? His recommendation wasn't useful. The boy wasn't weak. I wasn't proud of this achievement. Did he guarantee it? Did you go there? Those words were very important. Was he under arrest? We were against it. Was she pregnant? How was she? Did it help you improve your listening skills? That exam wasn't difficult at all. She didn't make the same mistakes. The books were so informative. The day wasn't hot. We weren't tired at all. Did we show satisfactory results? Did it really worry you? When did he come back? Or when did he return? This result was amazing. Why did you choose this place? She wasn't lucky. It didn't impress us. What did you like there? It wasn't the best answer. The days weren't cloudy. Did we deserve it? How often did you go to the gym? Who was in the second place? She didn't leave her bag. His mistake wasn't very big. I was absolutely sure. He was with them. His answer was incorrect, or his answer was wrong. He didn't explain it to us clearly enough. This time didn't suit us. Those results were terrible. I didn't want to change anything. What seemed so strange? It wasn't a waste of time. I didn't know what to say. How old was he? I wasn't there yesterday. Was he really sure? She wasn't used to it, or she wasn't accustomed to it. That woman was very hospitable. She was really grateful to you. His attempt wasn't successful. His attempt was unsuccessful. She was tight. Was it his fault? Did it help you improve your speaking? It didn't snow there yesterday. Who was in the last place? Did it really help you? Were you against it? What influenced you most of all? Was it so easy? Was it an interesting presentation? She was full of enthusiasm. Who was wrong? I didn't know what to do. My friends were there. Where did you go yesterday? My parents didn't support this decision. I didn't want to spend time on it. Did your husband recover? We were lucky. I didn't want to discuss it anymore. My friend and I weren't sure. I didn't want to remember it. She was very shy. What videos did you watch? Were they hospitable? Were they friendly? The lessons were so useful. I didn't want to listen to music. That woman wasn't lonely. We were glad to see her. You weren't right. The boy wasn't strong. They didn't break up or they didn't split up. We were lucky. My friends weren't satisfied with their results. What channels were really interesting? How did it happen? How much money did you get there? I wasn't used to it, or I wasn't accustomed to it. It wasn't her achievement. I didn't have such a choice. We didn't know how to thank him. Whose idea was it? I didn't want to listen to that song. They weren't busy. You weren't in our place. What attracted your attention? He didn't invite you to his wedding. When was it? I didn't know how to do it better. This result was below average. I didn't know where to go. We didn't try to do it. Was he ill? My friend wasn't satisfied with his result. It was very risky. The girls were very sad. Those women were very curious. What did you tell me? Was he in trouble? They weren't available. They were unavailable. How long time ago was it? Who influenced you most of all? She wasn't ready for her exams. Who confirmed this information? Was I a hard-working student? He didn't apologize for it. Were they kind to you? He was bitterly disappointed. It was an outstanding result. She didn't have such an intention. I wasn't proud of this success. Her result wasn't impressive. Were they under arrest? She wasn't ready for this change. I didn't devote much time to sport. I didn't want to think about it. We were right. She was very upset. He was surprised. How far was it? How far was it, right? His idea was quite new. Where was he? What kind of person was he? I was full of energy. She was with us. Did you try not to think about it? The news was shocking. What sounded suspicious? Why did you decide to do it? My best friend was too optimistic. My best friend wasn't realistic. He didn't take it close to his heart. Was he on holiday last week? Who liked it? Was it a serious threat? Why did he complain? Where were you yesterday? It didn't disturb me. What was so unusual? This knowledge was enough. We weren't satisfied with our results at all. What did you want to see there? Did they pack their clothes? You didn't understand us. His attempts weren't successful. His attempts were unsuccessful. Was he kind to you? They were together. He didn't cancel the meeting, or he didn't call off the meeting. Did it help you improve your reading skills? The boys weren't weak. His recommendations weren't useful. I didn't want to know it. Why was she so upset? She didn't refuse to help us. What impressed you most of all? We weren't on holiday. The men were inside the building. Was it unlikely? They weren't used to such conditions, or they weren't accustomed to such conditions. I didn't want to mention it. Why was he so loyal to them? Who was in the first place? It was a rainy day. You didn't show it to me. It wasn't easy for me at all. The boys were in another city. Where was it? Did she decide not to do it? I didn't want to waste time. Were you satisfied with your result? They weren't in this situation. I didn't leave my pen. Did this change have a positive effect on him? How did you know it? His result wasn't satisfactory. My acquaintance wasn't too pessimistic. Were they friendly? Were you rich? The book was so interesting. She wasn't used to it. She wasn't accustomed to it. Where did you find it? Why was she so loyal to him? It was so dangerous. That money was enough. This money was too little. You were very optimistic. Did you analyze his behavior? They were very far. Did you decide to do it later? It wasn't the best choice. I didn't want to think about it. Was she present there? Did it help you improve your grammar? He didn't delete his last comment. She didn't interrupt him. Those women were so kind. I didn't go to work yesterday. Did you take the first place? You were too pessimistic. He was very talented. How regularly did you do these exercises? How many mistakes did I make? Those exams weren't easy at all. She didn't get married last year. We didn't know how to answer that question. You didn't make any mistakes. I wasn't disappointed. It wasn't his achievement. You were lucky. My friend didn't like this idea. What happened? It was such a boring movie. Did you hear it? The day wasn't rainy. We weren't against it. Why was she right? We were really surprised. Their results weren't satisfactory. Your answer was correct. Your answer was right. Did your acquaintance follow their advice? I didn't sign this contract. I didn't see this document. I didn't park my car there. The test was so easy. They didn't invest their money. Did you pray? It was my big dream. Her colleagues didn't inform her. This situation was unpredictable. She didn't practice English regularly. His answer was unpredictable. It didn't rain there every day. He didn't improve his English there. It wasn't the best decision. It didn't snow there every day. Was the exam so difficult? She didn't pack all her clothes. She didn't react to these changes. Did you take part in that contest, or did you participate in that contest? It was our choice. It wasn't the best answer. It wasn't my best result. Okay, my friends, thank you very much. I really hope that it was a great idea to record this video course here. Thanks a million. See you.